Film type, high performance hybrid calendar self-adhesive film. Thickness, 13 mil. Liner type, PET. Adhesive type, solvent with air egress features. Finish, high gloss. It comes in these colors and roll size, and here are the application uses. We now move on to film properties, and as you can see, it has a high gloss finish and a wide array of colors all in one film. Peeling the film off the liner reveals a transparent liner that has a grid pattern on the back that helps with trimming and sizing panels. It has a very low initial tack, and to adhere it to the surface, simply squeegee and firm overlapping squeegee strokes. In many cases, the film can lay on the surface, and with the air egress features, it can be squeegeed on without having to hold the material off. And if bubbles do occur, simply press them away. The high gloss finish can be sensitive to scratches, so it's highly recommended that when done, go over the film with a heat gun. This will self-heal the scratches and maintain the high gloss finish. Another option is to spray the buffer with a slip solution, in this case SSS, and this will allow the squeegee to glide across the surface scratch-free. And a good thing to note is that the film is directional. So a good way to make sure the material goes in the same direction is to make sure the liner logo faces the same way. This will help ensure quality. Here are the recommended installation tools in order to get a professional result, and always make sure the application glove and buffers are in good condition and clean. Before unboxing the film, it's important to note important product information on the outside: lot number, roll size, and color swatch. When taking the film out of the box, always note that there's a hanger for the rearview mirror for aftercare. Always roll the material face up because it has a cap sheet, then trim it, and to remove the cap sheet on the table, spray it first, then fold the cap sheet over to reduce static, and always recycle it. For install, it's always a good idea to masking tape raised object areas, in this case the molding at the top, clean, degrease the surface with extra focus on the edges, then lower the surface energy with a low tack solution. For install, set magnets to hold it in place, release the liner, then tack it on a body line. Once you tack it on the body line evenly from side to side, spray the buffer with a solution that will help avoid scratches, then squeegee with firm overlapping squeegee strokes. Work up from the hinge, then work down from the hinge. Hold the material off the surface and work the film on, left, right with 45-degree squeegee strokes. As the material forms down, if it tends to bunch up, add heat. This will relax the film, then continue to work left to right. Once the film is on the surface, it's very important to relax it to the edge, so pick it up, add heat. This will take the material back to zero tension, which is important for long-term hold. Once the material is on the surface, add heat, then run a finger to set up the edges. The heat relaxes the film before cutting, which is critical for getting a good clean cut as well as extra long-term hold. A good tip is after heating, run a finger on the edge. This will set the material up uniform for a precise cut. For the door handle area, add heat. Once the material relaxes, run a finger on the outside edge to frame it as well. Now, trim off the material, and it's highly recommended to cut on the opposite side. This will allow roughly 1/4 inch or half a centimeter film to be wrapped around the edge. And for this door handle area, which is flat, cut on the high side, tuck the material into the gap, and because the car is black, angle the blade in along the bottom side, add heat to relax the film. This will significantly increase the chances of it holding the recessed area, and then work the film in with an application glove. Heat the film to the edge to activate the adhesive by lifting the handle, and done. For the edges, go over with heat again after the cut, which will cause the film to shrink and focus on the body lines. You can see the film wrap around due to the natural process of the film and how it was made. It can shrink easily, and this is good. Take advantage of the natural shrink of the film to have it wrap around the edge, and this neutralizes the tension and makes the install process easier. And for the top, trim away the excess film, in this case using the wrap axe, as it's safe and you can seal once done. At the end of the install, spray it down with an aftercare solution to wipe it down, remove any handprints, and always be sure to post heat the edges, in this case up to 100 Celsius, to neutralize the memory. Now move on to the bumper, which is a more complicated shape, and to help neutralize this, clean very good and wrap the bumper in 2 pieces when possible. Lower the surface energy, again in this case with SSS. This will help avoid sanding and adhesive lines. Release the entire liner and always work with 2 people. It's recommended to use the Wrap Matrix Zero Stretch here, which allows the film to shrink and relax around this edge. This neutralizes the tension of the film and allows it to go on easily with glass and no adhesive lines. Once the film is formed and relaxed around this edge, lock it into the body line first with a squeegee stroke, pick the film up, and now shrink it back into the car. This is the Wrap Institute Wrap Matrix. By shrinking the film onto the car during the installation process and not forcing it on, this allows for high quality, maintains the high gloss finish, and ensures long-term hold. So one installer lightly holds it off the surface, the other shrinks it onto the surface. For the top section here, make a relief cut, relax the film one more time with heat. This is causing the film to shrink, then guide it into the underside of the light. If it's possible, remove the light ahead of time. Now for here, heat the film over the moderate recessed area and form it in with an application glove. Always add heat on the edge to relax it. Then once everything's set, it's time to focus on the bottom section, which has a light. Squeegee the film down into this section and make a relief cut. This significantly takes the tension out of the film. Then relax the film one more time and guide it gently to the outside edge. Once the film is on the edge, lock it into the surface with an application glove and squeegee. Then set the edge up for cutting by using the hard side of the squeegee to tuck it into the gap. Once into the gap, you can use a knife, or in this case, you can sharpen a wrap axe, and this will do the cutting for you. This is a plastic tucking tool that can also act as a knife, so once it's fed into the gap, it'll cut nice and clean from side to side, despite the thickness of the film, which is excellent because it has a super high gloss and very good long-term durability. Once the excess film has been removed, you can use a tucking tool, or in this case, the same wrap axe that was used for cutting. Once the bottom edge is done, the focus now goes towards the top. Cut the excess film roughly 2 or 3 inches away from the edge. Add heat to relax the film to the cutting tape. Once the film is on the cutting tape, release it. This is a safe cut directly on the body. Then seal the edge. Run cutting tape again on the overlap. Make sure the overlap is 3 to 5 millimeters and run it on the inside, if not wrapping all the way into the body. Add heat to the top layer piece. This is called an overlay. Relax it onto the top edge, then make a series of relief cuts to form the film up and in. Add a slip solution to the squeegee so it doesn't scratch the film. Keep the film off the surface, and again continue to make relief cuts when necessary to relax it into the upper section. Add heat to relax the film at this stage, but avoid overstretching the film here, and this can be done by wrapping the back bumper in 2 pieces. And when done correctly, the overlap disappears into the body line and makes it look like one piece. The final stage is to wipe it down with an aftercare product again, and post-heat. Make sure you post-heat at the correct temperature, and the post-heating temperature for this film is, in this case, up to 100 Celsius, and put extra attention on the overlap.